Hey ACT test takers, I just wanted to go over something real quick about your answer sheet on the ACT and give you some tips on that. If you were in my class the other day for our little session, you heard this. If not, you'll want to watch this video. Now, I'm sure in elementary school you were like me. You were taught when you're taking standardized tests to just fill in every bubble, never leave anything blank, and work from 1 to, in this case, 40. You know what I mean? Oh, fill in a bubble here, fill in a bubble here as I get the right answer, and just keep moving on. That sounds great in a perfect world. The science portion is 40 questions in 35 minutes. You are not going to be able to complete all of this. I mean, if you are, you don't need my help anyway, okay? So I want to teach you how to skip certain answers. If you watch my first video and hopefully you watch some other ones, there's gimme questions is what I call them. There's certain questions in each passage that are gimmies, that are easy, that you should definitely get. So if you've got 6 questions on a passage, chances are great 3 of them are what I refer to as gimme, that take very short time. Now the problem becomes when you run out of time in the ACT and you're at question 31 here and they call 5 minutes and there's no chance in anything that you're going to be able to get all these done, so you just start filling them in. We want to avoid just blind guessing, right? We want to avoid that. So let me teach you a quick little strategy. This is what I do. You might figure out something kind of similar to this. Now, you may not, they don't advertise very well. You can write all over your test booklet. You can circle things. You can mark things out. On your answer key, however, you don't want to write too much because it's an electronic Scantron. It's going to run through. For example, the mark I just made there, it might cause that to be invalid on number 3. We want to avoid that. But here's the trick. If I'm working on, let's say we're going to do 11 through 17 right here, okay? If I'm working on this passage and 11 stumps me, if I go, ooh, okay, I've spent about a minute on that, I don't really know the answer, I got a few on my test booklet with the question in it, I may circle the 2 that I know or I think those are good answers, okay? But on my test sheet, on my answer sheet, I may just draw a little line out here, right? Or maybe do just a really light circle. Now, mine don't look any lighter, but of course with a pencil, you can just do a little light, right? And so that tells you I'm going to come back to that one in a minute because I'm probably going to get some information in number 12, number 13, number 14 that's going to help me. And let's just say I go on to 12 and I know for a fact it's H. I'm like, yeah, that makes total sense. That's the one. That was a gimme question. I moved to 13 and I got a pretty good idea after about a minute. It was B. And all of a sudden, it goes off in my head like, oh, 11 makes sense now, because that's the way it's set up sometimes. It's not the easiest ones at the beginning of the passage and then works its way back to the harder ones. That'd be a great world, but that's not the world that you're participating in. All right, but say it backtracks now. I just come up to 11 and go, all right, I know my best guess is going to be A, or I know for a fact now that I've read the other ones, it's A. So I'd do that, and then I would take my nice pencil, and I would erase that mark, okay? So it's okay to skip some. I don't know 14. And even if I go through here and do the rest of this one and do that whole passage, I still can't figure that one out. You got one of 2 choices. At the end of the passage, you could just go, okay, 14 I didn't know. Let's just guess F and be done with it, okay? Because what you've done, even though you had to guess on it, is, of course, you want to erase that line. You've given your best chance to get most of them right. Whereas if I would have spent 5 minutes on 14 right here, trying to figure it out, I probably would have had to rush through these. Or chances are great by the time I got over here to 31 through 40, I'm just blind guessing. We want to get the gimmies, okay? And working your answer key is one way to do that. I like the method of, if I don't know it, I just write a little line out next to it, and then I skip on. Because that way, when I look at the answer key or the question booklet, I don't get confused about what number I'm on. Chances are great I'm not going to go back and put 19's answer on 18, okay? If I just don't do anything and don't put a mark out beside 18 or anything, yeah, I may go back and do that, okay? It happens to the best of us. So I would certainly learn a method of maybe putting a circle or a line, or even some people just lightly shade in a guess, like lighter pencil, and then come back in and darken in later, all right? I know this seems simplistic, but it's honestly going to help you as you skip through some of the science portion. Remember, it's about endurance. It's about time management. It's not really about science. And I know y'all are all fully capable of enduring through it, thinking logically, and managing your time well.